Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Orlando Magic Pod Squad. Dante Marchitelli, George Galante. He played 12 NBA seasons, 3 right here in City Beautiful. And my notes, George, say that he's retired, that he was not in the
You're
NBA.
retired? Fully retired.
Brian Anderson joining us. You didn't play last year at all.
No. A lot of people were confused. You know, they thought they saw me out there. I did. Countless of times on the streets, any city I go to, they think I played in their city. I have a face. I think I have a face.
How do you pull that off?
You know what's weird? I texted him like twice last year, good game. Yeah. I just texted him, hey, good game, Rye.
I think I just thumbs up that, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
But where does time go? 12 NBA seasons,
you know what's
Rye.
strange?
Come on, think about that.
We're touring the facility here.
Yes.
Are we allowed to
Advent Health
Oh, yeah. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into it later, but what an incredible facility. They had to wait. Me and Richard are touring around. They had to wait till we had left to build something like this.
They did.
Of course.
They did. Well, you guys brought the money in to allow it to happen.
I was in a hard hat at the Amway Center as it was getting built.
Mm-hmm.
And that's still my favorite practice facility, still my favorite weight room training area. I mean, my fondest memories in the NBA were here. Sure. You guys know that, no secret. But but this place is another level, incredible spot. But I don't even know why I got into that. Why did we get into that?
Because you can't believe George and I are.
I'm sorry. What I was gonna say is, I came here. It was my second year in the NBA, 15 years ago, man.
Amazing. Think about that.
You said time flies.
Correct.
To me, that's like, wow. 15 years.
It really does put things in perspective. We sat with Tracy McGrady a couple weeks ago, and it was the same thing. We're looking back at.
He's still a name dropper. Hazmat.
Oh, T-Mac, yeah.
Anyway,
lunch for shot.
When I golfed with Penny Hardaway, then we said no, but we were talking about things he had accomplished, and then you look back at the lines, and it's like, wait, that was 2002.
Yeah,
and that was 22 years ago. And Dante and I still have the same positions that we had, and you would think we would have a little more, ambition in life just to do something else.
You guys you got to just amp up the work ethic. I see you guys, wearing the same clothes you wore 15 years ago.
Same thing.
And then look at me.
The day I got traded, I had this polo on.
Right? That's your sad polo.
My sad polo. I hate this polo.
That day was a sad day for us, right?
I have it down as the worst trade in NBA history. That I will on the record. No, and that's no knock on Gustavo Ione. I think he was a great.
Go into that whole time frame.
Yeah, and we will.
I wish for the if there's a huge Orlando Magic fan out there that's listening to this and cares at all about that time frame in my world, I could talk for 15 hours about that time frame because I thought for sure I was going to re-sign here. I had my best season
of course.
In my career at that point. We were successful. We still had our roots. Obviously, there was some turmoil within the team and stuff, but I had a house I was about to buy out here. My whole life would have it's so crazy. One little trade. I didn't even get offered a deal. I was just a sign and trade to New Orleans. Just see you later.
Take it easy.
Yeah, have a good time and
when you think back, and we'll get into what you're doing now and all that stuff. But what did you know about Orlando when you came here? Right, you come here. The team had just gone to the finals, and now bang, you're coming down here to this team. In 2000.
I was on a golf course. I get the call that I am getting traded, and it's a shocker. It's a gut punch. It's a crazy experience because no team's just going to bring you on, especially when they have some kind of scope of a plan for you and say, you might just be here for 1 year or something. And back then deals, if you had a 4-year deal, most likely you were going to live out your deal.
That's right.
It's not like nowadays, like instant gratification, one guy's in, one guy's out.
But I've been to New Jersey. Part of you wasn't like, I'm in.
Yeah, you know what though? I've lived in so many different cities and I just learned to love them. I learned to really love.
Yes.
Yeah, Jersey had its things, but I found things that I loved about it. But then I get this trade, and I'm kind of initial response is panic mode, and it's crazy. Like next call, Vince Carter on my phone, and I was in the trade with Vince.
Right.
And I remember I'm talking to him, kind of in this like, I have no idea what a trade's like. He was always so thoughtful to me in that way. I don't know why. He kind of always had this big brother Vince mentality with me. Vince Carter, yeah, the best guy, the best veteran I ever experienced. But he told me this is going to be a great thing for us. This is going to be a great thing for you. And this is a veteran, I think 10, 11 years in the league at that point, telling you that definitely gave you some comfort. But to think, then the next process of thought goes to, wow, these guys just went to the finals and I'm going to join this team and there's going to be some high expectations. So, very quickly I fell in love with the idea of coming to Orlando. And then obviously, as you know, I just fell in love with every aspect of living here and enjoyed every minute of it.
So what's that conversation like when you first come here with say Otis Smith, who traded for you and for Vince? And obviously, at the time, Vince was the probably the main part of that trade. Mm-hmm. But what's that conversation between you and Otis and the rest and Stan probably on what your role is going to be and how you're going to fit in? Because as you stayed here longer, your role obviously got bigger and you turned into a fantastic player for us.
Yeah, I mean, my process here developed my whole career and it was necessary for me. I think, it's funny, I talked to Marcin Gortat and JJ Redick when I first came in the 2 previous years. Those guys were kind of for lack of a better term, like the whipping boys, kind of
no doubt about that.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, you guys know.
100%.
Brought to Stan,
and I was that guy. I came in and I took it. It was tough for me. I'd never experienced a coach like Stan. There's a specific moment where I'm standing maybe 2 inches off the free throw line corner, and Richard's guarding me, who veteran guy, could do no wrong. I'm the young guy. I am 2 inches from. He said, "Stand on the free throw line corner," and I go 2 inches from it. Stand on the free throw line corner. I move over. I'm like, I am standing on the free throw line corner. My foot wasn't enough on his attention to detail for me, his moments, just that where it was like, there's nothing I'm doing that's good enough. I thought he hated me. I thought I was holding the team back. What it was is he wanted to push me to my limit to build me up. And eventually, when I remember I got my first pat on the we probably may have talked about this story because this is like my favorite coaching moment, but I got a pat on the butt from Stan coming out of a game. And that first year I was there, and I'm like, wow, I actually did something right, instead of a coach just praising you all along.
Of course. Yeah.
But I mean,
you earned it. You felt you earned it.
I felt I earned it. And so the process for me coming to this team, it developed my character. It developed me as a player without question, just being around so many great veterans and opportunities just came. And my second year, actually, I was told if I show up every day, if I come in the summer, put my work in, I'm going to have a chance to start, that for my second season. And I did all that. I worked my tail off and they saw it. And then all of a sudden, Brandon Bass was here at the time.
Right.
And they played Brandon in front of me for the first half of the season. And I'm like, I didn't even play. But that's another moment. It's like testing me to see where I'm at. There was a plan for me here. They ended up making all these trades mid-season to give me the opportunity.
Right.
And from there, the rest is history. But I think that's why it's so valuable for teams to you can't expect success from guys for 1 year. It takes time to build.
Absolutely.
And I had that here, but I only wish it could have lasted longer.
Oh, I'm with you. Well, you did those 3 years, but that 09-10 team, we talk about, obviously the 09 team went to the finals. That team was as good, if not better.
I say it's better.
Right?
I will die on that ledge.
Right? He's going to say differently, but I think that team, right?
That's true. Turk obviously thinks the 09 team was better. I to this day think that the 2010 team was better.
As you sweep through Atlanta and Charlotte in the first round,
right,
going into Boston with home court advantage, are you not thinking, here we go again?
Are these wounds healed yet? Because they're not for me. I feel like I'm having a little flashback here.
Yeah, it's such a phenomenal year, but you're right. It does feel recent.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is ingrained in my mind, especially sweeping those first 2 rounds. And the talent we had was incredible. The hype we had that season, and then just maybe even overachieving that hype. I mean, without question, everybody thought we were going to go back to the finals. But Boston was so good. And they had the super team, and they had their guys, you know.
They weren't as good as us.
I'm
sorry.
On paper, maybe not, but they just had weapons that were so tough to compete against. I mean, that was a very odd experience to sweep round 1 and 2 and then get swept because we got swept.
Well, it was 4-2, but you went down.
4-2, but we went down 3-0.
Went down 3-0.
Oh, that's what
it just felt like a sweep because of the way we got kicked.
Yeah, well, that's how good my memory is. It's still burned and ingrained in my
heart. It hurts you so much it feels like we got swept.
No, it actually does, because I think just the shock of the expectation of just making it straight back to the finals and winning again. That team was such a tight-knit unit, and that was my favorite team I've ever played on.
Is that right? That 09-10 team, right?
Absolutely. The most talented, most best coached, most on the same page group. And, I mean, you look at that roster, we had guys that, you know, it's funny, when we're here, you know, my experience with guys like Gortat or JJ or you know, all these guys were kind of, even myself first coming out, we were sort of like lower guys on the bench. These guys became stars on other teams.
Good point.
You know, so we had, of course, Orlando helped build up these guys' talent, and they were pushed to get the most out of them. I think being here helped them in their career, but they became great players. They became starters and great players on other teams. So, yeah, our roster was insane that season.
What do you remember about the city that year when we were making those runs? Just the vibe around town and everything about Orlando at that point.
I'm so biased to those years, and it's odd coming back here ever so often. You know, obviously getting traded and you know, coming back to the city, and downtown changed a lot. There's so much new construction here, and the city itself has developed a ton. But while I was here, I just feel like it was such a special time, and the city's always embraced the team and loved the team here. But I've never experienced anything like that. The devotion and the fan love from those years. And if anybody ever does come up to me, which is like fairly rare, but if anybody comes up to me about basketball type things, it's generally an Orlando Magic fan. And I loved you in Orlando or something. And it's like we had such a tight-knit fan base, and the city was so backing of the team, blue and black and white, everything.
Yeah.
You go downtown after games and
awesome.
Everybody's happy and alive, and it's funny. It's like my Four Rivers barbecue. It was like just a hole in a wall. You guys remember?
Oh yeah.
Construction workers came to just pick up barbecue from this hole in the wall. I drive by it every day to go home because I lived in Winter Park, and like you come back and now there's Four Rivers everywhere. You know, it's like, but it's
back in the day.
I know, back in the day, but. All these cool, it just, to me, it felt like I was here through, I know I'm involving Four Rivers in with the Orlando Magic, but I freaking love that barbecue restaurant.
Yes, it's great.
No, but just so many great things were here. I loved the season ticket holder events. We'd go to Epcot or something, or just living here was so much fun to me. I love, a piece of my heart is in Winter Park for the rest of my life. I love that city. I love Winter Park Ave. I love the restaurants there. Anyway.
You know, I know we've joked about, not really joked about it, but I mean, that was, then you fast forward to 2012. I mean, you've kind of alluded to it already. Is that what made it so hard? You now you have a connection. And that's the tough thing about this business in general, I would think, right? For anybody. There's attachment to a fan base, to a town. You have friends here. You have a routine.
Yeah.
And you want to see it through. And we wanted you to. There was no logical explanation for not bringing it back.
I don't have one.
But a brand new management came in. They had a different plan. They wanted to build a younger, younger.
You're 23.
I know. That's what they told me, man. That's what they told me. We want to start. We don't. And also there was a lot of there were tons of questions whether or not I'd be able to perform at the same or better level without Dwight.
Interesting.
And so in a lot of ways...
20 points a game in New Orleans?
In a lot of ways, that was like a chip on my shoulder, though.
Sure,
it's like, anyway, defensively, without question, Dwight was the greatest person to have your back ever.
Sure.
You know, I'd be guarding these guys, Tim Duncans, Kevin Garnett's. I'm not afraid to guard them because I know my boys got my back there. That was the greatest.
You were fearless defender.
When Dwight was, I was
Fearless.
just one of the,
Just
in the running for top. No,
always all defensive team.
Always.
So, but like, that was the Dwight that was
Yes.
MVP, one of the best players in the NBA, Dwight. And it was incredible night in and night out to see that guy, be on the same court with that guy. Just every rebound, every block shot, just an absolute, one of the first guys that was ever, I'm going to give this guy 40 and 20 tonight. And it'd give him 45 and 25. You know, it's like.
He would say that? He would tell you I'm going to
say that in the locker room sometimes. There'd be like, I remember DeAndre Jordan, everybody kind of had a comparison between DeAndre and Dwight, and DeAndre was younger, coming up, kind of finding his way in the league. And I don't want to make this story up too much, but from what I remember, DeAndre was, you know, getting his swagger a little bit, having some success. And Dwight was like, I'm not going to let this kid, you know, have his moment. You know, I'm going to show him what's
Not
up.
tonight. It's not going to be.
And that was like 50 and 30, you know, or whatever. It's like,
jeez. But he could do that.
He could do that. That was never a world I could ever do. I could never. Those are the special guys.
But most kids,
There's
absolutely.
Few guys have been around that could do that. But yeah, I mean, all defense for me.
So the fact that Dwight's wasn't named on the 75th anniversary team.
It's a robbery, man. Yeah. It's a robbery, and from my explanation, and the great thing about being out of the game now is I can talk a little bit more, not political about this kind of stuff, but it's a complete robbery, and I think it's just based off of just things that may have happened in public appearance or in the media, you know, later parts of his career, because the Dwight we all love and remember, and the career that he's continued to have, and now obviously winning a championship and having, what else does the guy have to prove? He's without question one of the top centers to ever play the game.
Right.
And there's guys that were on there that I don't think Dwight should have been passed, you know, should have passed up Dwight, you know. But who makes the list?
Well, that's the thing.
You have no idea.
You have no idea.
It's numbnuts like Dante over here.
So he's still can you clear something up?
Side.
Right.
I just can't stand that side.
You got to clear this up for us, because ever since you left, George has taken, and he's not afraid to. He takes credit for. He takes medication. He takes medication.
Depression medication. It's gone.
Oh my gosh, I still can't get over it.
Oh yeah, I know.
I cry myself to
He
sleep.
had a surgery 30 years ago. He still takes.
Right.
But anyway, credit for your most improved player award in 2012 for the politicking that he did.
Yeah.
I think you had something to do with it, with the year that you had.
Which he did.
But I give Georgia credit.
But listen, I still say that is one of the PR department's. That's easily top 2 accomplishments. Not that we accomplished it, but what I'm saying is that.
But you know what I'm saying? I accomplished what I did, and that's.
But listen, like, would you?
Do you want? I could just give it.
Will you send it to me? I still live at the same house. Okay, so but would you ever thought that I thought you had a shot when we were doing what, you know, sending out some emails and whatever else. I thought you had a shot, but to win it by it was not close. The voting was not close that year, if you remember.
To me, I don't know if I paid much attention to that stuff.
You didn't, which was good.
I feel like I was just so happy to have a great role on a great team, and I wanted to get another contract to continue to play. At the time, I don't know if at the time they were doing like 7-year deals still or 5-year deal. I wanted to sign
whatever it was,
money. I just want to be here.
Yeah, right.
Seriously, that's the craziest part about it. I was talking to my agent, and literally the GM at the time, I was like this close to just saying, if you're not comfortable paying, I was going to take a severe pay cut, and I almost regret not doing that. I would have taken way less money to stick
Just
around.
to stay. Wow.
But
now I'm getting sad all over.
No. I regret not making those phone calls or having discussions about how much I wanted to stay. You know, but
these $400 million later, are you?
But I mean, look at the jacket you're wearing right now, Ryan.
Are you so crushed?
No. But like, Dude, once I left this city, my life changed dramatically.
Yeah.
That's
You both
true.
know,
Yes.
and, like,
Right.
So a lot of my youth and my innocence and just sort of my being a young man dissolved after I left.
It went
the
away
city.
fast.
It went away quick.
I did.
And so a lot of change, a lot of that, for anybody that knows my story, and I'm happy talking about it, and we'll talk about the podcast, I'm sure, later.
Right,
but
right.
I want to, suicide, a suicide happened in my life with the girl that I was dating in New Orleans. And that happened within the first year I was in New Orleans. And so she lived here in Orlando my last year. We didn't live together, but we lived in the same city and our different apartments. But we fell in love with this city together. So when something like that happens, your life dramatically changes into like the fight or flight mode, and you have to go right into, okay, who am I now, and how am I going to deal with this? So life changed a lot heading forward into. I'm not saying that obviously the trade caused all of this stuff, but it's like,
sure.
Man, that just makes my time here even that much more special, because it was like the roots of all of my innocence and like, becoming a man happened here. But sorry, that was quite a bit of a segue, but back.
No, but it's
true.
But go ahead, Dante.
Do you think about that? Do you allow yourself time now to go back and reflect on that? And that was such a, I can't even imagine, Ryan. We've talked about it not on air,
right?
But obviously, and what you've been through is just is amazing. What you've been able to overcome,
right.
It really is.
But you have also opened up to me with things as well, and that's what's most important in talking about this stuff. That's a very stigma type topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that it doesn't just come naturally to talk about it. You have to understand what the mission is here, and the mission is to help people, and you have to move forward, and you have to trek on and figure out the best way you can use your platform, or whatever that platform might be, to help people, or just to communicate whatever it is you're going through, mental health stuff. Obviously, every single person I've ever talked about the suicide topic has had some sort of a thought or some sort of a moment where it's entered their mind, not if they're going to do it or not, but it's life, man. There's tough things that happen in life. Mm-hmm. And it's something that's it's just sort of pushed aside, like we're all supposed to behave like these perfect people on Instagram and have these, watch these shows on TV that are reality shows, but they are not real life. And for me, I want to talk about it. I want to use I was talking about this morning with a buddy of mine. My greatest talent and gift in life is my vulnerability. I think that is my one thing that I am proud to say, that I am comfortable being vulnerable, and I want to talk about this stuff and help people.
Well, and you are. That's unbelievable.
And you are
to know that, but to know that, but let everybody know you're going to come out with where you're going to do that. You've got a podcast coming out is that what we can expect? Are these vulnerable conversations?
Absolutely, yeah. The intention of this. So this started. A buddy of mine, Brady Howe, and he works with the Suns. And he's very passionate about the mental health topic, and he's trying to, within the organization, sort of waking up, and even in the NBA, he's talking with a bunch of other teams. I think that it's a greatly looked over aspect in the game right now.
Really, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because you look at this facility you guys have here, it's incredible. I toured everything. There's not a place though where, not like you have to have a therapist's office, but there needs to be accessibility, and these people need to be a part of the team, a part of the staff, introduced like family, like even you guys are with the players. This guy can't just be, there's so-and-so over there, mandatory by Adam Silver, just put in place. Let's go. You could talk to him when you want. Nobody in the NBA is going to go and talk to them. Maybe a rare case here and there. So for me, we've been talking to, by the way, we have a number of episodes fully completed, and we're waiting for the right timing to release. We want to get a little bit more. We have plans next month to record a few more. So this is going to be coming out in the next few months. I'm really excited about it because I just want to have real conversations with real people who are these athletes, not real conversations with athletes or or not just conversations with athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many more times do we need to have the debate of, is Michael Jordan or LeBron James the greatest basketball player ever?
You can cross that off your list.
Yeah, hold on. I come with a lot of notes, and that actually was on the top of my list. So that's.
But there's not a lot of these conversations being had. I think it's great.
Right. So we're going to have some guests on that are, you know, it's not just mental health. We want to talk about how to perform at the greatest level. And some of that has to do with mental health. Some of it is tips. You know, we have some awesome people that are doing stuff with the UFC and that have breathing techniques and, you know, just things that you can really take home as a listener. And I think we'll at the end of the day, I want to do this to help people. So if we can have one listener have a tip or, you know, be open to being more vulnerable to talk about what's going on in their life, and that's perfect.
So when does this debut? When can we expect the podcast?
So we tentatively in the next like 2 months.
Okay.
We'll have it up. But I will.
Right.
I would love, if you don't mind, I'd love to like let you guys know when I drop.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
Maybe you can. You listeners,
Yeah.
it would be awesome to. No, it'd be.
What's it called? Do we have a title?
It's called The Session. So we
Nice.
didn't want it to be like
Okay.
therapy session,
Right.
But The Session, kind of like a, you know.
So you're cutting your chops as an interviewer, right? You get to
Yeah, absolutely.
drag information out of people.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah,
A second career.
Learning.
I mean, are you
surprised?
surprised?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised
We
whatsoever.
were men. They're in another world also, and we've talked about this.
Yes.
Three of us. I would have played here, you know, retired, had the house in Winter Park.
Mm-hmm.
We're meeting each other for lunch.
Right.
You know, a few times
I still
a week.
drive by that house.
I know. You know,
never there.
You and
I was planning on living in the little apartment above the garage. I don't know.
all living together.
Yeah.
Dante and I getting Dunkin' Donuts.
This is
coffee.
man.
We had the. I don't want to throw him under the bus. It was just.
I don't want to. So you got to make up a disguise. Make Larry. If you go to Make Larry Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It was. Anyway, we don't want to throw him under the bus. It was the worst experience.
Holy smokes.
Love him though. I love.
Why don't you tell? So you're a Dunkin' Donuts guy. Why don't you let everybody know what your go-to drink is, though?
What's my go-to?
Your go-to.
Oh, at Dunkin' Donuts.
I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it.
Sweet,
Unsweet
hazelnut.
hazelnut.
Large iced coffee with unsweet hazelnut and
Yeah.
almond milk.
Okay.
He's not an almond milk. He's a purest half and half.
Yeah.
And he wants to cut down the calories. Like, what are
No.
you doing?
There's my problem.
I
I think. There's my.
Right?
That's your only problem.
Yeah, and the unsweet hazelnut. Like, if I'm gonna get hazelnut, that thing's gonna be sweet.
Yeah. Like,
But there is. But we agree.
Coffee.
No, not to some extent. To some extent.
Do you guys have Phil's coffee here? That's
no, I
it's
don't
an
think
LA
so.
thing. That's the best cold brew I've ever had.
Okay.
But Dunkin', I think, is far superior coffee
Yes.
to Starbucks.
Yes.
Right?
I would agree.
Yeah, but Starbucks is not a sponsor of ours, right?
We would love to have Dunkin' Donuts sponsored. I mean, I love them.
It's just that one location, and we won't even say where it is.
We won't even make.
Just don't go to that one
We
location.
won't even go to that one. So,
45 minutes.
But you mentioned the West Coast. That's where you're at now. Not everybody know where you're at now.
Beach,
Hermosa Beach, doing
California
doing the
pulled him
podcast.
back home.
You got a
Loved
family now.
you guys
You're
coming over to
married
the
with
house,
2
when
kids.
you guys come out. I loved it when you guys have come over.
We had so much fun.
We-
had
really?
so much fun. We stay 1 mile from you when we go out there.
Yeah. And great. Thanks for the
Wait a second.
Great.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Right down the
Close.
street?
No, we're going this time. This time we're coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you don't want to intrude. Sometimes.
I don't want to intrude.
Yeah. Well.
Plus, you don't answer our calls.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
well,
respond to
I mean, can I tell you the amount of
He's
times
gotten
I've
better.
we're in
texted?
Houston.
He's gotten better.
We
about
were
that.
in Houston
Yeah.
at the time, though. That's
Yeah.
my defense. You
Yeah,
know?
that's
so if it would be weird if you were like, "Hey, we're right down the street." I'm in
Houston. Right.
So I was in Houston.
Yep.
So I got released my last season. My contract got cut up into three years when I was in Miami, and so I was thinking about staying in a tax-free state
Mhm.
for those 3 years, and we had already had our place there. Raised our 2 kids there. Now we're in Hermosa Beach with my beautiful wife and our 2 kids, and I love it out there.
He's
man.
all grown up.
I was just gonna say, our boy's all grown up.
all grown up.
Right?
It's professional.
Right? The wife wants wants 3 kids.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
can
know.
talk about that.
Yeah,
Wait, I'm your guy.
on like live. Should we talk about it?
We can if you want to.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on how deep you want to get into the weeds on this thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe after because we got to
Sure.
get into this.
All right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Some
true.
more questions.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. I have a boy and a girl. I love them so much. They're incredible. If I could wait a few more years to have another one, I think without question I want another one. But you know what? It's not up to me, is it?
You're
Is
right.
it up to us?
It's not up to you.
Yeah.
Is anything up to us?
No,
Right.
no,
Is it?
none of it is.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
had to
know.
ask Lana if I could do this podcast.
Yeah, I had to ask her. I even, yeah.
We all had to ask.
I had to ask Lana.
We could even do this. That's how it goes.
Can I
right
see
now.
Ryan today? She said no.
What do you find that you've given up now as a dad that you didn't think you would be able to, but you now
I was always a huge
like
club.
life?
I always you were clubbing. You were just clubbing all the day. I would go to Ibiza.
Like techno?
I'd go
Ibiza?
fly out to Ibiza,
Yes.
leave my wife at home. Yeah, I'm going to Ibiza again. And club from midnight to noon the next day.
I can't
all
believe they've
night.
done Burning Man without you there.
No, I
can't
know.
believe that's
I know. Burning Man, yeah, Coachella, all the hard
How does your current podcast host get you to stay on any topic? Is there any way that occurs?
It's
During sessions?
let's just say the session is a much more serious oriented.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Oh,
But there's room. For,
It lends
there's
itself
room
to
for some fun.
There's got to be you.
As you
Don't
guys
ever
know-
lose your
yeah.
Listen,
you don't
can't
ever
do
lose
that.
your
Listen.
personality. Still has to come out.
The club days are over. Okay, you know they've been over for a long time. I was never a huge club guy, but I did go to Ibiza, boys.
Did you?
Did you?
I had a good time too. It was fun.
Is that where that
That's
tattoo is
25.
from? Is that where the tattoo's
The
from?
full back.
Yeah, the
tattoo?
big eagle on your back.
Yeah, full
Yeah.
eagle. Yeah.
Do you remember seeing on Facebook that he had his retirement party and
Yeah, I
like
remember.
3 people in the mailroom for the
Yeah, I remember that.
I wasn't in charge of the invite. No, I mean, if it's a surprise party, guy.
Fair.
Well,
Blame
fair
her
enough.
away.
Yeah, that's true.
surprise party where I saw a lot of other Magic staffers at the surprise party.
There-
But that's cool.
It was really just everybody I cared about in the past, like you guys, except for you guys.
But come on your 30th birthday.
But
You
no,
come
the
on your
invitation
30th
was
birthday?
it was in the mail, right?
It was never quite made it.
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm glad it's so great to see you. I could do this for another day or two, but we're going to be mindful of your time.
Do you think if Ryan never left, the three of us, that would be the show, wouldn't it be?
That's what we were gonna
Yes,
say.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
That
If
would be. It would be Ryan's show.
No.
And then the
Yes,
two of us.
I want it to be the three of us equal partners, and we've talked about this so much.
Do you want to
Yeah.
buy in? You want to buy in now?
I would have so much fun
Yes.
with you guys doing whatever, but I don't know if people would want to see it.
But does that matter? Who
They
cares?
wouldn't wanna see it.
What do I care if they want to see? Right?
You guys are still around after all these years, and you got how many listeners?
70.
20?
Yeah, 7.
You're going to have 40 after this. You were still around by not doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, maybe you're right.
But I'm in. I would love to, in any capacity.
No, maybe there's still a world where it could happen.
I think so. I
We
think
might
so.
move to Nashville. We could be a little closer. Maybe creep over to Orlando. And get it,
He bought a town outside of Nashville.
You bought a town?
Small town.
Really?
Yep, I'm naming it. You want me to name it?
Anderson? Yeah, could you? Danteville?
Do you mind doing that?
It's always Dante's name. Just is so
It's
good.
better. Yeah.
Do you want?
That's better.
But it has to be Galante. Yeah, Galanteville. I don't want. Maybe.
I like Danteville better. Dante Town.
I'll take it. I would
Yeah.
love to have a
I think
town.
that's
I'll
pretty
build
cool.
you.
Just to build me
I'll
like a
build you-
building.
Yeah, I'll build you like a whole
Post office, like a post.
It's like a family cemetery.
Cool.
And I'll name it after.
All right, thanks.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
As long as you have a little in-law apartment for him. That's all he wants. He wants.
Just put a statue of me out front with a hand that just goes like this.
Do you watch NBA? Do your kids know that you played in the NBA? Like how
That I was going to ask
keep in
that.
touch with that? Like how much of your NBA life are you still?
Yeah. I for probably a good year or two after I was done playing, it was hard for me to watch because all those guys are my buddies, or
Yeah.
it just is so fresh in my mind. And kind of the way my career ended was each step of the way, nothing really has been that necessarily smooth and just the way you'd anticipate your career going. So for me, signing in Houston, just a lot changed very quickly over there within that regime. And we could dive into that in a whole other time. Another good conversation now that I'm retired to have.
I want to have that
Get real into that one. But
because there's a guy that you played with that's trying to force his way onto his 5th team here. I'd love to know.
Right.
He's a very good player.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Well,
But you've had different stops along the way.
Yeah. So for me, I kind of distanced myself a little bit away from basketball, but it's been really fun just getting over my own things. And I mean, this is a part of, with talking about this session podcast, it's a part of my own journey too. I want to learn and grow and figure out the best ways to live my life. So I'm not doing this podcast like an expert. The only thing I know is what I've experienced, and I think I can open up the platform for other people to talk as well.
Yep.
But yeah, the kids. My son is sort of aware. Like, what did Daddy do? Oh, he played basketball. I mean, but he's not super into basketball right now. He's not really into sports. They just want to watch Frozen all day. My son and daughter.
Nice. Yeah.
Frozen still holds up. I'm glad to hear that.
But it was the first time we watched it the other day. This is probably the longest lasting, because you watch movies with kids and it's like you'll give it a month watching the same thing.
Right.
We're entering into 2 months.
Yeah.
With the Frozen. Still Frozen 1 and 2. The music, I think it's just the song.
Well, it could be. There's certain things you got to pull. Like Teletubbies, we had to pull the plug on quick.
You had to.
There's certain shows you just don't allow in the house.
Well, that was Lana for Dante, though. Like, she said to him, like, you're a 47-year-old man.
Yeah.
I don't want you watching this.
Enough already. Like, enough of the Teletubbies.
Well, listen, the last thing I'm going to say, George, you've been doing this for 42 years. I've been doing it for 41, right? Covering this team.
42 years?
No.
42 years.
42.
I'm 50.
Would you say
I don't know, you get those grays.
I graded? I'm not.
It was believable when you said it.
Was, I know.
Believable. Just looking at George, though.
I don't know. What's some grays creeping in there?
How long have you guys really been doing this?
This will be my 29th year, and this is 26 for Dante.
When somebody exaggerates, like they exaggerate way more than that's actually not far off.
It's not that far off.
Very good point.
You're
but
right.
All the guys that have come through these doors, and we've met them all, right? We've met them all. And this is a credit to you, Ryan. This is what we'll end with. And it is just that I think this game can change people.
I'm top 25.
It can change. He is the best defensive player we've had.
Top 25.
In the history of this just in
are we going defense? Yeah.
No, in general. Top 5 player, anyway. Top
No.
No, but as far as people that have, obviously you had a great career here. And there may not be, you've got Dennis Scott, you've got Ryan Anderson, and who? Rashard Lewis.
As far as three-point shooters,
right? I mean,
he's right up there.
So if you talk
Ryan's
about
right
on
up
the
there.
floor success, one of the best offensive rebounders we had, right? But I'm talking people. People that this game has not changed you. And everything that you've been through, that you've overcome, is a credit to you. And I know we've talked about that, but would you not agree? It's very rare that this life doesn't change people. And
he's definitely one of the ones that he is who he is. And that's why we love him.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I say.
You guys, well, I'd say the same thing about you guys. You guys are real. I connect. And I've connected with so many, especially people within this organization, even just seeing so many people I haven't seen in years, but it feels like I've seen, been staying in touch with everybody here for the most part. But I just appreciate this organization. I appreciate you guys. And
it was a fun time.
We're still close because it was a special time, but it's good to be connected with real, genuine people, and I found that here, and I always felt at home here, and I still always do. And I'll crash at your guys' house anytime.
Yep.
They put me up at the Grand Bohemian, and I was a little offended I didn't. Like Dante let me stay.
Well, I heard you had a sleepover.
George, you didn't want me to come over?
I wasn't invited. I didn't even know it was happening.
No, but he didn't invite me to his house.
That's true. And
I wasn't home.
You clearly could have.
Last night.
Today. You're right. I could have told. Yeah. You want to spend the night?
No, it's too late.
And he got up and made waffles and pancakes this morning. That's
you're right. I'm sorry. Of course he did. Of course he did. Yeah.
It's great to see you, man. And I hope you come back more often. Right? We're gonna have you in town more often. I think this would be great. Great to have you around.
I'll sit down with you guys forever and talk. I'd love to anytime.
Well, best of luck with the podcast. We can't wait to follow it, and we'll see you soon. Welcome back,
guys.
Ryan Anderson. That'll do it for this edition of Magic Pod Squad.